what would you say to like maybe like a high school senior or somebody that's about to start their freshman year at Brockport who's like not sure about their major?
I'm gonna be so honest, not that serious. Like, I swear, like, I feel like we make it like, oh, you have to stick to a major, or you have to already make your decision. No, you don't. Like, that's the whole point of college. You don't have to know what your passion is right from senior year.
Like, you will have the time of your life here. I almost guarantee it.
Welcome back to the Tour the Nest podcast. Joining us today is Grace. Grace, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Can you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, my name is Grace Olaosebikan, and I am majoring in broadcasting and journalism, and I also double minor in digital marketing and film studies, and I love my majors and my minors. Yeah.
So tell me how you became a journalism and broadcasting major.
Yeah, so interesting story. When I came to Brockport, I was a business major, and throughout my life, I didn't feel like I had a purpose, or I didn't find my purpose at all. Like, I didn't know what I liked to do. I just kind of like, all I did was like watch TV and just like be myself. So it was kind of hard trying to choose a major. But the reason I went for business is because I want to own a business in the future. And I talked to my dad about it, and he was like, okay, yeah, go for business. That's where the money's at. And like, and I went for business, and I hated it. I'm a creative person, and I knew that staying in business was not for me. I felt really miserable. Every day I just did not want to go to class. Like, that's how you know you're not loving it at all. I loved my gen eds more than I loved the business classes. I literally hated it. There were some good classes, like entrepreneurship or whatever. But I explored. I talked to people around campus that had different majors. And I spoke to two of my friends that were broadcasting and journalism majors. And the reason why I never thought about it in the beginning was because like the word journalism, I didn't want to go into journalism. So I just thought like, that's not my interest. But I didn't know there were different layers to that major. Like, I'm a media production concentration right now. So when I spoke to them, they told me about it, and I was like, wait, I like this. So I did some research, and so that's when I switched to major, and it was the best decision ever.
You never looked back?
I would never. I literally know I'm on the right path right now. That's how like content I am with this major. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
so how long were you in school before you wound up switching?
I think I was a sophomore. Okay. Like first semester sophomore. And I just knew I couldn't keep going like this. So I think that's when I switched it.
And so when you were at that point of like being basically undecided and not knowing what to do, you mentioned that you spoke with like friends and stuff, but what other resources did you find on campus that were able to help you explore your different options?
Yes, so the Academic Success Center was the biggest help to me. Shout out to Gianna. She's not here anymore. Well, she's alive, sorry. She's not in Brockport anymore. But basically, I just went to her and I was just like, I don't like my major and I don't want to go to class. And she basically did a lot of research for me. She gave me advice on how to change my major because it wasn't that easy. Being a child in an African household, you can't just change your mind and they're like, okay, yeah, sure, whatever. Like in other places, like, okay, you can change your major multiple times, but I couldn't. My parents were very strict about that. So she gave me advice on how to like convince my parents. Because even telling them, like, I don't want to be in the business major, they weren't having it. They were like, just because it's hard doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. And I'm just like, it's not hard. I just don't find joy in it. But she told me, like, she gave me some tips about, like, persuading them. I made a PowerPoint, actually. And I told them, like, we're going to have a meeting this day, and I need to show you this PowerPoint about why I want to switch my major, why I'm interested in this major and how much I can make from it. And when I did the PowerPoint, they were like, okay, I see you're serious about this. And the only thing was like, my dad was like, if you switch your major now, you can't switch it again. That's it. And I'm like, bet. And I just trusted God with this decision, and I never regretted it.
And so, do you still go to the Academic Success Center today?
Always, 100%, every day. Yeah, I love all of them are just so sweet. Like literally every single one of them. And yeah, I just go to their office, talk about life. Yeah.
And so, when you were looking at different departments, you make it seem like journalism broadcasting really stuck out pretty quickly. And so when you were like checking out the different departments, what kind of conversations did you have with like the faculty and other students from the JRB department that made you feel like you'd be welcomed there and like it would be a good fit for you?
Yeah. So with the students that I spoke with, Nasim and Dee, they basically just told me like what they do in class. Like they told me like they work with cameras, they work with audio, they do creative projects. And in the past, I dabbled in media in general. Like for 2 years in high school, I was in this program called WMOCO, and I did what was it called? Digital Foundations or whatever. It was basically where every media outlet was mixed together, and I enjoyed it, but I didn't know how to like make use of that. And when they told me specifically what they did in class, I was like, wait, I've done this before and I like it, so I would love to do that. So I think just knowing like what goes on, and also the professors, like the students told me that the professors are all like nice, but not only nice, they care about what they do. And then when I switched my major, I really see that every professor generally cares about the students, and they care about creatives basically. So yeah.
And then when it came to actually like making the switch, can you just describe to anyone who might not know like what steps you have to take with Brockport in order to get transitioned?
I think I went to the Academic Success Center, and I went up to Gian. I was like, I'm making that switch, and I think she took me through the process. I don't remember exactly what she did, but she helped me with it all. So that's all I know. That's how you know it went that easy, because she took care of everything. So like literally any other academic advisor would do the same.
So like one of the holdups for you before you switch your major was like family pressure and like feeling like a switch maybe isn't appropriate. How were you able to like overcome that and ultimately make the decision that was right for you?
Yeah, so like there definitely the family pressures were there, but also like I felt like I would stay longer in Brockport, and that was like an issue that I felt like I had to think about. But if you think about it, if you're staying in something that you don't want to stay in, isn't it better to just stay longer and be doing what you want to do than stay in something and be miserable forever? Like, that's what I thought. And like, even though my parents really wanted me to stay in the major, and it would like save a lot of money if I did, you have to think about the future. Now it worked out for me. I'm graduating on time. I walked the stage in May, but I come back for a semester. But honestly, you gotta make sacrifices for what truly makes you happy. So the pressures, yes, they do weigh on you, but you also have to think realistically and think about the future. Like, will this affect me really bad if I stay in this? So yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good way of looking at it. 4 years of being miserable versus
literally
5 years of being happy
right?
most of the time.
Like,
It sounds like
literally
pretty easy choice to me.
Exactly. If you think about it like that, it's pretty easy. Yeah. So think about that, and like think about solutions. Like the way I did it was I made a PowerPoint that might work, that might not work. But literally, like, just if you want a future, you gotta chase it. You gotta try everything you have to. Like, find different solutions. But I'm gonna pray for y'all, because I know it's not easy out there. So
And what do you think your parents would say now about letting you make that choice, that switch?
They're so happy. And it's so funny because my dad, like, he literally is he was a photojournalist.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, that's his field. So why did I have to do all that for him to be convinced?
Yeah.
But now that I think about it, he just thought that I thought it was hard, and, like, he thought I was giving up. Because I usually, like, when things get hard, I'm done. But not anymore. I'm changing. But he probably thought that. So he was just like, no, don't give up. Don't give up. But I'm trying to tell you, I feel miserable. So, yeah.
And then in the end, it was like the effort you put in to show them what you needed that paid off.
Exactly. You got to put effort in yourself and put effort in showing, if it's like family, you got to put effort in that too. You can't just say, oh, they're not listening. Like, yeah, that sucks. Like, absolutely, I hated it, but I had to find different ways because they're paying for my tuition. So it's not like I could be like, oh, I don't care what they say. I had to care what they said. Yeah.
What would you say is the first class you took in the major that really stuck out and was a good time and made you feel like, okay, I made the right choice?
Okay, it was 2 classes in the same semester. It was media writing with Carvin and media performance with Kim. Those classes changed the way I viewed college, because I saw college as like a chore before, like, oh, it's something that I just have to do. It wasn't enjoyable. Like, there was no really fun in it. But when I took those classes, I had the most fun I've ever had. I literally, like, talked to my dad. I was like, bro, like, yo, this is it. Like, this is fun. Like, it was creative, and they gave you freedom to do whatever you wanted creatively. And that's what I loved about those classes. And the class felt like a family, even though we didn't, like, know each other. Well, I didn't know a lot of the people in that class. It felt like family. Like, we just all come together, we chat, we talk about media, we just do the work and we talk about it. And I just loved those classes so much. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's one of the great things about, like, going to Brockport. A lot of the majors, I don't want to call them small, but, like, there's not a crazy amount of students. Like, it's not like 600 students in every major. So you really get to know, like, you have so many familiar faces in classes, and it's small class sizes a lot of the time. And you really get to know other people, get to know your professors, especially. Right. Like, I feel like, we're both in the journalism department. Every professor probably knows, like, every student's name.
That's
and
true,
like,
yeah.
their door's always open, and like, there's no professors that I wouldn't want to take a class with them.
Right.
Because, like, I have a relationship with all of them, and they make a point to have a relationship with all students too. So I think that's a great thing, is, like, even in a class you started taking with people you barely knew right away, like, you felt so connected, and like, it's really great that you were finally able to, like, channel that creative energy. What are some of the favorite projects that you've been able to work on? My
favorite project was definitely my first project that I did creatively, because I feel like that I hold that dear to my heart, because, like, oh my gosh, I got to do this. It was we had to make up basically a podcast with someone in the class, and it was about culture, and I had to bring my cultural food, and my other classmate, Estefania, got to bring her food, and someone basically tasted it. And just being, like, a host, and also, like, just seeing how, like, the camera worked, and, like, how people, like, handled the audio, and how people just came together creatively to make it work. It was so beautiful, and I love that podcast to this day. So that's my favorite so far. Yeah, and there's more, but I hold that dear to my heart.
Yeah, well, I think every, like, creative person looks back on their first project that kind of, like, opened their mind to what they're capable of and what, like, their style is, and they hold it dear. So I mean, I remember that project and like, not performance, but that show that you guys did. It's really cool in that class too, how, like, the whole crew and the people on camera are all students.
Exactly.
Like, the faculty basically just sit there and watch and make sure you don't break anything.
Exactly.
But it's all on us to, like, somebody was doing your sound and maybe I was doing your camera. So yeah, that was a fun class.
It was. Truly.
If you told like freshman year Grace, like first year Grace, like about how you're feeling now and like the position you're in now with your current major, what do you think she would say?
She wouldn't believe it because, like I said, I felt like I didn't have a purpose. I kind of just was living life trying to find it, and it was hard to like keep going, knowing that, like feeling that I didn't have a purpose. So she would definitely be surprised. Like, and also I wasn't like the most social person back then. Like I had to build myself like not socially, but like confidence wise. Like she would not believe that I can speak in front of people. Like in high school, people didn't even know I existed.
Or do this?
No, like I literally like it was crazy. Like coming into into college, I forced myself to interact with people even though it was uncomfortable. I joined BSG Senate. I don't know. I mean, actually, that's good. I did because it built me up. I joined a club. I was a president in. I did a lot of leadership roles, not having experience in socializing. So, but it really helped me. And switching the major is something that I also never thought I would do. I thought I was just stuck in something, like also based on like, family. But it was nice to, build myself up. And what I would tell her right now is just keep going and keep walking in God's plan for you. Because, like, honestly, for me, God is the only thing that's been keeping me going. And knowing that I'm walking in His purpose helps me to make decisions and know that I'm going to be all right. So, yeah.
That's awesome. And what would you say to... like maybe like a high school senior or somebody that's about to start their freshman year at Brockport who's like not sure about their major, like kind of like you, like they just chose something because they had to choose something. What would you say to them to like kind of ease their nerves?
I'm going to be so honest, it's not that serious. Like I swear, like I feel like we make it like, oh, you have to stick to a major or you have to already make your decision. No, you don't. Like, that's the whole point of college. The point of college is not to, like, be stuck to something, but it is to explore. In high school, like, we don't know who we truly are. When you come to college, when you're not under your parents, when you're making decisions for yourself, waking up by yourself, like, doing all these stuff by yourself, you begin to learn and become who you truly are. So with that being said, you don't have to know what your passion is right from senior year. Like, it's not that serious. Like, literally just come into college. If you want to be undecided, that's fine. Explore. I'm sure you'll find something. If you don't, that's also okay, because life is not a destination. It's a journey. We all learn. Even like people older than us still don't know what they want to do, and that's okay. Like, it's a journey. We don't have to have it all figured out. And I feel like that's something that our society makes us feel like we have to do. So, yeah. Well,
and I think there's a reason that like the option of being undecided is in place. Forced, like students shouldn't feel forced to pick a major, and like whether there's like family pressure or whatever, or like self-imposed pressure to do that is one thing. But Brockport makes it really easy to transition from one place to another, and
100%.
No one is going to bat an eye if you want to change your major or if you don't declare a major before college. Like, all the resources that you might need to eventually find that are all there. And there's so many like programs on campus and stuff, like tabling, like different departments do tabling, and like there's so many opportunities to learn about everything that's out there. Like, there's no way to know what everything that Brockport has to offer, because there's so much. So
like, literally, I know, like, my sophomore friend, he just told me this like 2 days ago. He switched his major 7 times. And now he found a major that he likes, and double major actually, because he, like, one of the majors he tried and another major, he just combined it together. Like, it's literally not that deep. Like, just go with the flow, honestly.
And then once you find the right path, like, you're not going to look back and question it. Or, I mean, I'm sure he doesn't regret his first 5 majors because now he's found the 2 that he really likes, and like he wouldn't have got here without those. So
yeah.
So obviously the Academic Success Center helped you change your major and like gave you some guidance that way, but you mentioned that you still go today. So what other resources are available there, and like how can somebody get started with taking advantage of it?
Right. So the Academic Success Center also has tutoring for almost all the classes you could think of. They work hard to try to find tutors for every class possible. And they have math tutoring, they have English, and they have different subjects as well. Not only that, but they also like upstairs, they have conference rooms and like study rooms, study lounges. So if you need like a comfy place to study, it's kind of like a relaxed place, because like every part of campus has a different aesthetic, I feel like. So I lean towards the Academic Success Center for studying in the lounges. ASC has a lot of resources that you can make use of, but one of my favorite, this is why I really go there, to be honest, not just tutoring, but the advisors. Like, I literally love them all. Like, I didn't even sign up for anything. I just like went to their office and just like said hi, and every day when I did that, like I became very close with them, and they're all amazing. But if you're scared of doing that, you can always like go to the front desk. So if you need help, the front desk will help you, and they will refer you to any of the advisors that are available at that moment. And yeah, so definitely make use of the Academic Success Center.
So you mentioned before that you've been in leadership in clubs, and you've been in BSG Senate. So can you just give us a rundown of all the different things you've been involved with outside of class?
Yes. So let's start from the beginning. When I came, I was an officer in recreation club, and then my second semester, freshman year, I became the president. Not by choice, but I'm glad it happened because it helped me grow. Then I joined BSG as a election commissioner. When I said Senate, I don't mean I was a senator. I was just like, I was going to Senate every Friday. And then I helped bring back women of color empowerment. And then I joined Leadership Development Program. And that I recommend to anybody, even if you're not trying to be in a leadership role. It helps you understand yourself as a person. Like, the workshops were really good. I also am still in the First Generation Task Force. I'm not as involved because of my busy schedule, but I help with social media or like any content that needs to be made. There's probably more, and I'm sorry for anyone who's involved in that more that I don't remember. But yeah, it was amazing. I don't regret anything. It helped me grow as a leader and a person. And even though I'm still struggling to still have those like set leadership skills, at least I grew from those roles. So yeah.
Yeah. And how did getting involved with those, because you got pretty involved on campus like right away. Like you said, you were an officer in your first semester. So how did joining those things help you like grow socially and like gain some of that confidence to like be more social?
Right. It was a choice basically. And when I say that, I mean like I had to push myself to socialize. A lot of people some people join clubs and they don't push themselves to socialize and go above and beyond to, talk to people. And I think that's very important to do because not only do you grow as a person, but you get to learn about just humans in general and how to interact with them. You get to like just absorb like social skills, like know like what to say, the right things to say at the right time, how to listen, and how to problem solve. Because with being in clubs it's not easy. I don't know who said it was, but it's not easy. And you basically have to learn how to work with other people, even with different perspectives on things, and learn to come to a compromise. And you just gotta push yourself. You have to be uncomfortable. You gotta push yourself to be uncomfortable. Like if you join a club and you're not ready to communicate, you're not ready to put yourself out there, you're not gonna grow from it.
But once you take those first steps, I feel like it gets easier and easier.
Yeah, it does. It does.
No, I know what you mean. Like it's not just about being a part of it. It's about what you can take away from it and what you can contribute and stuff. And I think that's what builds like those leadership skills. What is your favorite like memory with one of those extracurricular activities you've been a part of?
I would say for the club I was a president in, a rec club, just getting to build relationships with the people that were in the e-board. We had some fun activities because recreation club is basically a club where you do fun stuff, recreation, active or just like, de-stressing activities, and getting to plan those events and just building that bond with the e-board was amazing, and I'm still friends with all of them. I made great connections, and those connections led to other connections as well. So I would say just, creating events together and creating that bond is my favorite part.
Now I got a big question.
Oh my God, I'm scared.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
I have really high standards for my life.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. I see myself making a lot of influence, not only in the world, but like in like faith as well, because I'm very big on my faith, because faith brought me out of, depression and anxiety. I mean, not that I don't struggle with it, but it's definitely helped me keep going. And I want to be able to help people who have gone through the same thing, even if it's not like with God, just to help people like feel happy in life, because like life is not easy, and I want to be able to have a lot of influence in that, like to help people feel happy in their everyday life. I see myself rich, obviously. I don't know, like I feel like God created me to be rich, because the way I spend money now, mind you, I don't make a lot of money, but I spend like I make a lot of money. So I know I have to be rich, and if I'm not, no, I will be. And I see myself traveling a lot. I don't want to stay one place. I want to always be somewhere else, taking in different perspectives, different cultures. I see myself in Italy recently. Like I could just see it. I can see myself sipping martini on a beach. I don't know. I just see myself traveling. And family-wise, I don't know. I see myself independent, but then I see myself with someone. I don't know. But, I just see myself living the life.
I heard martinis on a beach usually get you really rich.
Right?
The more of them you drink, the richer you get, I heard.
No, for real, So, yeah.
Well, I think that's good. I think you have a plan.
Yeah, I do have a plan. To get there, we don't know. But, yeah.
We'll find the means
exactly
to get to the end. Mm-hmm. If you had to give a piece of advice to a incoming freshman at Brockport, just one piece of advice, what would it be? Please,
please, please get involved. That changes Brockport. Like that changes Brockport experience for you, because Brockport is a small town. So Brockport is what you make of it. And there's a lot of extracurricular activities. There are clubs, there are club sports, even if you don't want to be committed to a sport. Just join as many as you want. If you don't like it, you don't have to stick with it, but be involved, because being involved definitely gets you the fun that you want to have in college, for sure. So please just get involved. You have to, so it can be fun.
And if you had to give a 30-second pitch to somebody for why they should choose Brockport over other schools, what would that be?
Okay, 30 seconds. Okay. Brockport is really cute. I feel like the colors of, green and gold that should already tell you like, oh my God, it's super cute. But other than that, the people here, the staffs, the faculty, even the students sometimes, they are really amazing people. And there's something really special about Brockport. I feel like there's a family connection here, especially when you get involved. Like, you don't see that in a lot of places. The connection is strong. I don't know, because if it's like a medium-sized school or something, but like the connection is strong and everybody's so sweet and nice. So please join Brockport, join us, because we're a family here. And I noticed that a lot of people that graduate love to come back. So that should tell you something. That should tell you something. Join us. Join us.
That's true. That's all very true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think that alumni of Brockport very often stay involved.
Always.
And even, people that go on to go to like grad school at bigger schools, like I've spoken with a bunch of alumni who are like, yeah, but I wouldn't have ever gotten there without Brockport.
Exactly.
I think Brockport has such a good ability to like lay a foundation for whatever future you want.
Brockport is where it's at.
I agree. And it's green and gold.
And it's so cute. Like, literally, that was literally my top reason for coming here. I'm not going to lie to you. Green is my favorite color, and I just like the mixture. And I was like, wait, it's giving Brockport. Yeah, so, yeah.
That just about does it for us here. Grace, thank you so much for taking the time to join us.
Oh my God, this is amazing. Thank you.
It's been a good time. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.